Hey everybody, this is D Hunter bringing another action figure review. Today we're going to look at the McFarlane Toys Fortnite Nitehare action figure. Now simply put, this is a creepy bunny rabbit. This guy here, he's got droopy ears, his eyes are sunken in and dark around there. This is not your Easter bunny. This is a creepy skin. I don't personally have the skin. I've known a lot of people that do have it, and I've always thought it's pretty cool. So as you can see, Fortnite here, 22 moving parts. This guy comes with the traditional harvesting tool, gun, back bling, and stand the McFarlane figures typically come with. This guy has the Hoppity Heist back bling, the steel carrot harvesting tool, and the compact SMG. Epic Games, Nitehare, ages 12 plus. See on the side, this is how he looks in the game. Like I said, definitely creepy. Same thing on the other side, just a little bigger. Top, Fortnite Nitehare, McFarlane Toys. You can see the Spawn logo up there. The bottom, got a barcode if anyone needs that, as well as a bunch of credits. And then the back, you can see some recently released figures, Peely, a whole bunch of other guys. The next two figures I'm aware of are Beast Mode Jackal and Rhino, and honestly beyond that, I'm not aware of what the next figures are going to be. So no further ado, let's open this guy up. And I did end up getting 4 of these guys with the intent to use as Mad Hatter henchmen in my Batman action figure world. These guys being creepy bunny rabbits are going to be absolutely perfect for that purpose. Alright, now that we got this guy out of the package, here he is with all of his accessories laid out. Like I said before, he's got a typical McFarlane Fortnite stand. He's also got the steel carrot harvesting tool. He's got a compact SMG, which is a P90. And then he's got the Hoppity Heist back bling. So pretty cool accessories there. But before we look at the accessories, let's check out the actual figure. So like I said before, a creepy bunny rabbit. That is understating it. And first of all, look at his ears. It's got some little pieces missing. A little tag onto this one, or earring. Droopy down. It's got a little X and some stitching. Apparently it is a mask on top of this guy. His head actually was in a package like this. I noticed it can really look up nicely, which is pretty cool. He's got his chain around his collar, which looks like you could get it off if you really wanted to. Collar a little bit big. Little tally marks on him. Some hooks here. Kind of a creepy serial killer type vibe to him. More tally marks on his gloves and his leg here. Little carrot here. And look at this guy's slippers. Little bunny rabbit slippers. That's so cool. Detail's nice. He's also got his bunny rabbit back bling. So, a lot of consistent themes with this guy. And then here are all 4 of them out of the package with all their accessories laid out. I must say, I think these guys are going to be excellent for my goal to use them as Mad Hatter henchmen for my DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. My first impression of these guys, they're awesome, they're well detailed, they're smooth articulation, and they're creepy. So next, let's check out his actual accessories. Let's go and start off by looking at the stand here. It's a perfect circle, plastic, it's got 2 pegs on it for their feet, the Fortnite logo at the bottom, pretty much hollow plastic. I'm not much of a stand guy, so I don't like using those. So next, let's check out his back bling. This is called the Hoppity Heist back bling. Now to me, this sort of looks like a little teddy bear, stuffed animal rabbit. Almost looks like the stuffed animal of him. It's got the same little earrings on the side, tally marks all over it, creepy looking face, little chain on his chest where it's going to attach to him. Same color suit as him, similar stitching at the top. Overall, definitely meets the creepy bunny rabbit theme all across the board there. And then here he is wearing his back bling. You can't really tell from the front, but flip him around, there it is. And then here's his back bling next to all the different back blings McFarlane has made so far. And each one is interchangeable with the different McFarlane characters. And then here are all the different back blings that have been released by McFarlane and Jazwares. Unfortunately, even though they do scale up nicely together, they're not interchangeable between both lines. And here are several different McFarlane figures wearing each other's back blings, showing you they are interchangeable. Each back bling works with pretty much each figure. And even though the back blings are designed pretty much the same way for McFarlane and Jazwares, there's a peg hole in the back of the figure and a peg on the back bling that inserts itself in there. Unfortunately, they're not interchangeable between the figures. The Jazwares back bling and McFarlane back bling, the thickness or width of the peg is considerably different. So if you take the Jazwares back bling and try to put it into a McFarlane figure, it's just too fat, it will not work no matter how hard you try. And if you were to take the Jazwares figure and the McFarlane back bling, it would go in, but it's so small, it's loose, it would not stay inside of there. Next, let's check out his harvesting tool, or more commonly referred to as a pickaxe. This one is called the Steel Carrot, definitely continuing the bunny rabbit theme. Sort of carrot-shaped blade up top, see some chains below, area to grip it, a little hook at the bottom there. Overall, pretty cool, and definitely continues the creepy bunny rabbit theme. And then here he is holding his pickaxe with two hands. And then as Nitehare walks across the street, he's hearing some noise behind the brick wall. Let's chop it down and figure out what it is. So not only did he smash through the wall, but he gained some brick. He also found out what that noise was. There's a chest behind the wall. Let's find out what's inside. And it looks like he found a compact SMG, a big shield potion, and some grenades. And then here's his pickaxe next to all the different pickaxes McFarlane has made so far, and they are interchangeable between each different figure. And then here are all the different pickaxes released by both McFarlane and Jazwares, and I'm happy to say they are interchangeable between both lines. And here are several different McFarlane figures holding each other's pickaxes, showing that they are interchangeable between each figure. And then here are some McFarlane figures holding some Jazwares pickaxes, and some Jazwares figures holding McFarlane pickaxes, showing they are interchangeable between both the lines. Next, let's check out his weapon. This is the first time they've released a compact SMG, or a P90. As you can see, detail's pretty nice. Got at least 4 different colors in there. Some gray, green, red, black. I'd say it feels like it's a little bit larger than it should be, but I could be wrong about that. And then here he is holding his compact SMG. As you can see, trigger finger fits in there okay. Do be a little careful. It's very tight to get into his hands, and I actually had his wrist sort of pop off at the hinge here. I was able to pop it back on, but it's a really tight fit. Just be careful when putting it in there. And then here are all 4 of the compact SMGs. And then here it is next to a tactical SMG and a suppressed SMG. Now they've released 3 SMGs from the SMG family. The bottom 2 are from Jazwares, and the top one is McFarlane. And then here are all the different guns that McFarlane has released for their Fortnite universe. And then here are all the different guns released between McFarlane and Jazwares, not including the doubles that both companies have made. And here are several of the McFarlane figures holding each other's guns, showing they're interchangeable between the line. And then here's a couple of McFarlane figures holding the Jazwares guns, and Jazwares figures holding the McFarlane guns, showing you that pretty much each gun is interchangeable between both lines. And just do be careful when switching out his guns. His wrists seem very weak. 2 of my 4 guys, when putting the guns in, their wrists sort of fell apart. Yes, they can be put back, but they're going to get looser and looser. Simply even turning their wrists seems to have the same problem. So, a little bit of a quality opportunity there. Next, let's check them out compared with some other accessories you can use to enhance your Fortnite collection. Here they are with the recently released shopping cart pack. They scale up great with this thing. Next, let's check them out next to the McFarlane glider. This is the recently released Frostwing and Launchpad combo set. As you can see, so far he's scaling up nicely with it. Here he is getting ready to jump off a launch pad and use his glider. And yes, he does work out good with the McFarlane glider. As you can see, he can hold on, gliding down, figure out where to land. And what's a Fortnite figure without their glider, seeing as how they're such an important part of the game. Here they are riding a McFarlane Quad Crasher. As you can see, he's able to sit down in the front pretty well, and he can stand up in the back to shoot people. The pegs fit into the peg holes in his feet just fine. Here's the chest you saw earlier in the video. This is a chest I like to substitute for my McFarlane figures. This chest actually came with the Jazwares line, and specifically the figures that are 4-inch scale. This chest is oversized even for the 7-inch figures, so it is intended to be used as is for the 4-inch figures. It's just sort of an accessory pack, came loaded with wall pieces and weapons, but I'm happy to at least have some kind of a chest for my figures. Here he is next to a llama. Obviously this llama isn't from McFarlane Toys because it's a little bit larger than it should be, and it's also a stuffed animal, but llamas are pretty cool, sort of a staple for the game, so I'm happy to have one that's at least semi-close to scale for the figures. Here he is next to a campfire. This came from a NECA Friday the 13th Jason figure, and I realized it was actually perfect for the Fortnite figures. Here he is with some various Jazwares accessories that work out great for your McFarlane figures. We've got some explosives, a rift to go, some balloons, and then some heals and shields. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at his accessories and some other accessories you can use to enhance this figure, next let's check out the height of this figure. So from the bottom to the top, this guy's sitting at just a hair above 7 inches, about 7.1 inches, approximately 18 centimeters. Next, let's check out this guy's articulation. So, starting with his head up here, I found his ears articulated. They can go rotate from side to side. Gives him a lot of different personality. He looks a lot happier when they're behind him, and a lot sadder when they're droopy in front. His head, of course, it can rotate around, no problem, and it can look up and down a whole lot more than I expected. You can see that to that. This chain here is loose. Looks like you could take it off if you wanted to. Shoulders here, they're on a ball joint. They go out more than 90 degrees, all the way up. It looks like he's got a little bit of plastic between, like some of the other figures, but you can't really see very good, giving it a little bit of extra articulation. Up, down, around, all that fun stuff. He's got a bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows below that, and then go all the way up. His wrist here, now it's got a ball joint in the middle, and it appears to have articulation at the base and below the wrist here. The mine is very fragile. It's also hinged. Just be very careful with this wrist here. I've had them pop off. You can pop them back in, but the more it happens, the looser it's going to be. So he's got sort of a rubber torso here, and underneath there is articulation. He has an ab crunch, probably a ball joint inside of here. He can rotate around. His hips go out about that far, quite a bit less than 90 degrees. You see he's got articulation at the base here that's able to rotate out. Then go forward about that far. Back, really not too much. Double joint knees and go back that far. Then his feet here, there's a ball joint on the inside, which is very frustrating to use. They can go up and down, and if you rotate the ball, which is really hard to do, you can allow his feet to sort of rock and rotate. He's got toe articulation on top of that. His ball joint here is very frustrating to use. DC Collectibles does the same thing with their DC Essentials figures. Makes this guy pretty hard to stand, but once you get it the right way, it's pretty nice. Next, let's check this guy out compared with some of their action figures, starting with some of their Fortnite figures. Here he is next to the most recently released McFarlane Fortnite figures. We've got Hybrid, Peely, Nitehare, Warpaint, and Fireworks Team Leader. And here he is next to the McFarlane figures released before that. We've got Inferno, Havoc, Dire, Nitehare, Red Strike, and the Prisoner. Here he is next to one of each of the McFarlane Fortnite figures they've released so far. Starting to get quite a selection. And then here he is next to all the different Jazwares figures they've made so far. And then here they are next to all the different multiples that I've purchased so far. You may wonder why I have multiples of so many. Well, I got all 4 different faces of the wild cards to use as the Royal Flush Gang in my DC Comics Batman world. I got 4 of each kind of school trooper they released to use as Scarecrow henchmen in my Batman world. I got the 2 Crackshot figures to use as Toyman henchmen. And then I got the 4 Night Hares and 4 Rabbit Raiders to use as Mad Hatter henchmen. I love being able to double up figures for Fortnite figures, as well as use them in my Batman world. I find the McFarlane figures complement DC Direct and DC Collectible figures nicely, and the Jazwares complements the Mattel, DC Universe Classics, and Multiverse figures nicely as well. And then here they are in a giant battle royale with all of my Fortnite figures. As you can see here they are shooting each other, driving, gliding, sniping, exploding, facing off, getting loot, seeing who can get the most kills, and more importantly, who can get the win. And then here they are next to all my different Mad Hatter figures from my Batman world. Like I said, these guys are going to double up as Fortnite figures as well as Mad Hatter henchmen. These guys are great, creepy, going to be perfect for this use. And I thought these McFarlane Nitehares would be more appropriate with these kind of Mad Hatters. A little bit more serious looking. Whereas I thought the animated style Mad Hatter would look better with these Rabbit Raider figures. And then here are these 4 Nitehairs next to 4 Rabbit Raiders. 2 figures from Fortnite that are completely different looking, but both bunny rabbit themed. And then here they are next to some Mattel wrestling figures in bunny rabbit suits. No shortage of figures to work for Mad Hatter in my universe. And then here he is next to a robotic rabbit. That was an accessory with one of the Mad Hatter figures. As well as on the right hand side, another sort of psychotic rabbit figure. This was from some horror Mad Hatter set. And then here he is next to a crazy, sort of rabbited out Batman from Arkham City when he fought the Mad Hatter. It's times like now, I really wish I had a Donnie Darko figure. Next, let's check him out compared with some other action figure lines to see how he fits in both scale and style-wise. Here he is next to some of his McFarlane Toys brothers from 4 different McFarlane Toys action figure lines. And then here he is next to some DST or Diamond Select Toys action figures. Then here he is next to some NECA figures. And then here he is next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles action figures. Here he is next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And then here he is next to some Mezco 1/12 cloth soft goods action figures. And then here he is next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. Here he is next to some Mafex figures. Then next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And then here he is next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. So overall, I'm going to say I like this figure a lot. I like it every bit as much as I expected and hoped to, and then even more. I'm happy to have bought multiples of this figure. It's going to be great for both my Batman world and my Fortnite world. This guy does have a couple drawbacks. His wrists are jacked up, just they seem to be falling apart and coming out, and very resistant to moving, and he's kind of difficult to stand. Even with those problems, I'm going to go ahead and rate this guy an 8.5 out of 10. Like I said before, I'm enjoying him a whole lot. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.